Hello and welcome back. Now that you've learned the basics of the gradient workflow from the previous video guide, we can move on to a more complex example. Let's use this cat model, which utilizes a gradient palette that also contains solid regions. But that's absolutely fine, because the gradient workflow is designed to process these palettes as well. As you can see, we've already processed this texture. Let's inspect the produced regions to ensure everything is in order. It appears that all processed regions are fine, but you may have noticed that some regions are missing, specifically the eyes. At the moment, the UV pixel formatted regions are hidden. Let's reveal them to see if that's where they've been processed. As you can see, the processing algorithm automatically distinguished this region from the gradient regions because it's not a gradient, it's actually a solid. However, there's another issue. Our texture processor couldn't determine whether the background of the eye was a gradient, pattern, or solid. This is an exceptional case, but don't worry, we have a method to fix this. Using your mouse, create a rectangle on the texture preview by holding Shift, clicking, and dragging. Then click on Add New Region. You can adjust the bounds to make sure they fully encompass the eye. Also, before we move on, you can right-click the texture preview to clear the manually highlighted region. Now, when it comes to painting the eyes, it's important to understand that any regions colored with UV pixel-based technology will override the coloring done using gradient technology in areas where they overlap. So, it's best to first paint the background, which is the gradient region, and then paint the foreground, which is the solid region. Using gradient-specific algorithms, we'll start by painting the background. Now, we'll move on to the solid outline. Since we're painting a solid region, we need to disable the gradient-specific algorithms. This is because gradient-specific algorithms are only suitable for regions selected to be painted with gradient technology via the min-max bounds toggle. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll work on a model that uses a pure solid palette and convert it into a hybrid palette with gradients, solids, and patterns.